first page of our story, the future seemed so bright. Then this thing turned out.
Hi everyone, my name is Sally and I'm a music leader for the Urban Vocal Group. I'm also a singing and voice teacher and I specialise in contemporary and commercial technique. Today I want to talk to you about a really tricky subject for a lot of people, and that is confidence. Now, confidence is one of those things that some people seem to have a lot of it and some people seem to have none of it. And often the people who seem to have the most of it, actually deep down, they don't tend to be very confident in themselves, and it tends to be one of those kind of shows that they put on. Now, the main thing that I want you to start thinking about right now is that as a singer, we all have these moments and these little voices in the back of our head telling us that we're not good enough as singers. Everyone has that. It's how we deal with that, and it's how we actually let it control our lives that makes a difference. Okay, now I'd say as a singing teacher and as a singer myself and as someone who has struggled a lot in the past with confidence issues or performance anxiety, particularly when I was at college or at uni, when I was trying to go through that whole finding myself as a singer and believing in myself and that I actually know what I'm doing and kind of enjoy what I'm doing, it was a real chore for me, and I would beat myself up a lot. And in fact, I don't tell a lot of people this, but I ended up nearly quitting uni quite a few times because I felt that I wasn't as good as other people around me. You know, it was one of those things that I did feel that I wasn't sure whether I wanted to carry on in it and whether I was good enough to be a singer. But luckily I had UVG. I had that at the time, and I started working with the UVG when I was about 18, and that was obviously before I went to uni, and I damaged my voice very early on in my career. So that is kind of, for those of you who know me, that was my kind of turning moment for making me kind of focus on vocal health as a whole. Now, my confidence issues stemmed around the fact that I'd had an injury and I was worried about hurting myself, but also because I was then a teacher and I was worried about how people would kind of hear my voice, particularly like not necessarily the young people I was teaching, but the parents. And I was worried that the parents would expect me to be some kind of Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston or something like that, and be an absolutely like fantastic singer in order to teach their children how to sing, you know? So that is where a lot of my original kind of confidence issues come from as a young person and as someone going through my journey as a singer. So I wanted to share that with you because it's really important to actually start to think that everyone has these issues and it's how we deal with them. And for me, the way I dealt with them is because I actually went and I studied and I practiced and I made sure that I could do the things that I wanted to do and I was ready to do them. Okay, and this is what we're going to get onto today. So why do we feel like we have low confidence, or why do we feel that singing is a challenge and it's a difficult thing for us? And often, if you kind of go back to it and go, well, what is the actual start of this? What am I actually thinking? What am I actually feeling? And it's often judgment. We're worried about what people think about us and what people will say about us. You take that a little bit further and you unpick it, you're worried about making a mistake, or you're worried about forgetting your lyrics, or you're worried about just kind of hitting bum notes or kind of not being the way you could be, you know? Now, if you think about it that way, and you think about it logically, and this is a rule that I have for all of my singers that I work with, okay, so I'm going to introduce you to my rule, and I want you to try and to adopt it. Right. If we talk to ourselves and say, now I'm sure a lot of you have said this, that I'm rubbish, I'm not good enough, I can't do this. If that's the type of things that come through your head as you're singing, and it goes through a lot of people's, in fact I'd say most people I work with, you know, I don't think that I've ever had a lesson where I've not had some kind of insecurity come through with people, because it's just part of who we are as singers. We care about what we do and we care about what people think of us. So my rule is, if you are that person who says, no, it's rubbish, I don't like it, it's rubbish, but you don't give yourself the reason why, then you need to stop. Okay, so that is my rule. There's none of that. There is no telling ourselves we're rubbish. We can say, I thought it was rubbish because it was breathy, or it was pitchy, or because it was straining, or because it hurt, or because it just wasn't the right notes, okay? So basically, if you're looking at it that way, there is a pathway off of that, okay? There is a way to be able to allow yourself to actually move forward. Here, I'm rubbish, I can't do this, I'm rubbish. Spiraling, brick wall, you know, could have banged your head against a brick wall. This way, okay, I was losing my breath through that section, or it was too low for me, or it was pitchy. Okay, work on your breath control. We can do some exercises to help that. If it's pitchy, maybe you didn't learn the melody properly, you need to go and practice it a little bit more before you take it out in front of people. If it's a problem with stamina or strain, or it's not quite the right key for you, then we need to look at the song, you know. Be logical within yourself. If you are one of these people who are picking songs that are far, far too high for you and really, really big and really, really scary for the majority of singers, and you've never had a singing lesson or you've not really sung much before, and you are then beating yourself up, think logically, is that right? Is that kind to yourself? And actually, do you deserve to beat yourself up over something that actually someone like me or someone like any of the other UVG mentors might actually find, you know? So this is what I want you to start thinking about, is being logical within your singing. And once you're getting logical, you're taking away the emotion. You're being very, very strategic in how you are thinking about yourself. And if you say, right, I'm pitchy, I can't do it. Okay, well then how do I do it? I need to go and I need to practice. Okay, and that is kind of my word of the day today, is practice. Now, if we're worried about making mistakes and we're worried about what people will think of us, we need to make sure that we know these songs inside out and we're picking the right songs for our voice type, like what I've covered in the videos before, in order to make sure that you're actually setting yourself up for the best kind of outcome, you know. So basically, if you're picking hard songs that you know that you can't always sing and that you often struggle with, and then you're deciding to go sing these in front of people, well, no wonder why your confidence is going to be crushed if you completely get up and just completely squawk it and mess it up, okay? If you're picking songs that are sensible for you, that feel comfortable, and that you know really, really well, and you've spent a lot of time practicing on, that's what I would take out. And the reason why you'll be more confident when you do that is because you know the songs inside out, you know where the hard parts are, you've ironed out the hard parts, and you know in yourself that you know what you're doing. If you go on and kind of go in like half prepared, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to show that through nerves, and you're not going to set yourself up for the best outcome, okay? Now, practicing. What happens if your confidence issues actually affect your practicing? And I know a lot of people that I work with who they put off practicing. And I was one of these people. I was this person through uni to do with one of my dissertations. Basically, I was the person that would put off practicing because I was worried about the thing coming up, you know, or I was worried about if I practice it, I've got to actually go out and perform it, you know. So for me, that was an issue. I was thinking, I feel sick, I do want to do it, I'll do it tomorrow, do it tomorrow, do it tomorrow. And I became the queen of procrastination. Literally, I'd be that person going, right, you know what, I need to practice. However, I do need to do all of the washing that's in my wardrobe that is already washed, but I need to go and do it because I need something to do. I'm going to wash all my winter clothes in the middle of July. You know, that's the type of thing that I would do. And I'd find any excuse not to practice because I didn't actually want to feel scared, or I didn't want to feel paranoid that I was going to get it wrong. I didn't want those emotions because they were too much, you know. And I'm sure a lot of you felt that at some point as well, because it seems to be a very common kind of approach to a lot of singers, is avoidance, okay? Now, the reason why I'm going into this as well is because I want you to also feel like you're not alone in this. And like I said, it's a big thing for singers. So what I want you to start doing is two things. It's just two things today in order to start feeling more confident in yourself and allowing yourself to be a better singer, okay? The first thing is to learn to live with yourself, okay? You've got to learn to live with your voice as it is right now in order to get better, okay? So if you're one of these people, you're singing and you hate the sound of your voice, you need to practice just singing, okay? And getting used to, and what we call desensitizing yourself to hearing your own voice, okay? Once you get used to hearing your own voice, even if you don't like it, okay? The rule is, remember, we don't say it's rubbish. We go, right, I'm not happy with it because it's weak, or it's strained, or because I can't hit those notes. That is something that you're actually allowing yourself to realise there will be a mechanical issue that we need to fix, not that you as a person cannot sing, okay? So that is a big thing. Learn to love yourself. You know, it feels like one of the things, like, love yourself. It is really important. So listen to yourself, put up with yourself. You don't have to like it, but get used to hearing yourself sing. Once we start getting used to hearing ourselves sing, we're going to be more willing to practice, because that's the problem. If you're one of these people who don't like the way you sound, so therefore you don't sing, you're never going to get any better. So that's what you're going to have to do. And the second thing that comes after kind of getting yourself used to singing is you need to go and practice, and you need to be practicing songs that are sensible to your voice type. So things that are comfortable to you. And if you do particularly struggle with confidence issues, I wouldn't be going for big belty high notes. I would be going for your really easy, comfortable, you may call them boring, but they are going to be what's safe for you to sing, okay? And by safe, I don't mean, well, I mean both vocally safe, but I actually mean safe that you know that you could sing them and you're not gonna go and mess them up. Okay, because let's be honest, we're worried about making a mistake, and we're worried about what people are going to think of us if we make that mistake. If we pick a song that we can't make a mistake on, are we going to be that worried about what people think? Maybe a little bit, but not as much as we would be if we were going for something crazy. Okay, so this is what I want you to start doing, is being kind to yourself and allowing yourself to go through the process, and I promise you in time you'll start to feel much more confident. So first thing, make sure you're singing. Make sure you're getting used to the way that you sound, even if you hate it. And the rule goes alongside it is that we don't tell ourselves we're rubbish. We tell ourselves what we're not happy with, and then we can find a pathway of how we can go along and fix those issues, okay? The second thing is that we need to practice songs that are good for us, and we need to be working with the songs that are helpful to our voice and that we're going to get the best out of without worrying and panicking, okay? So be kind to yourself. And be sensible and realistic. This is going to be a hard thing for a lot of people to hear. I want you to actually consider whether the songs that you're singing, you should be singing right away, okay? If you're struggling with confidence issues, let's start with something that's going to be really safe, really comfortable, and that you're not going to need to worry about. Now, confidence is an odd subject, and it's not as easy as saying, don't do this or do that. And we need to work through, in your own time, what your issues are as a singer, and why you feel that you're not able to do the things that you want to do. And what might be good is for you to go and kind of like have a little think about what worries you most within your singing voice. And if that is a technical thing, then that's what we're here for, to help you do it. If it's an emotional thing that you just don't like the way that you sound because you just sound rubbish, you know, one of those things, then we need to unpick that, and we need to actually start looking at why do we feel this way? And why do you keep telling yourself that? Because often, I promise you, your own view of yourself will not match up to how other people hear you. Okay, and I think I worked out, I've taught nearly 2,000 singers over the last 12 years. So I'm building a website, I'm doing all that. I would say I've never come across a singer, never ever come across a singer that didn't beat themselves up in some way about the way they sound. Okay, so please bear that in mind, that you are no different than anyone else. And I would say the majority of them, they beat themselves up for pretty much no reason, you know? And if you are the type of person to beat yourself up, but then you're going to be proactive and you're going to work hard and you're going to be able to do it, sometimes recognizing that we have issues or faults is quite a good thing. But if you are there picking holes for the sake of picking holes, remember that that is not a helpful way through, and that is not a logical way through. And if we think about journeys and pathways, if you are that person who going through this way and you're going, just can't do it, rubbish, can't do it, you're going to spiral. It's no good. This way, you've got outs, you've got routes, you've got pathways to be a better singer, okay? Send me a message if you've got any questions or any comments. Let me know if you you feel confidence is a big thing for you and something you really do worry about. But I would like to hear how you deal with your confidence issues, or how your confidence issues actually affect you, okay? I'll see you soon.